Back with us this week is Senior Wealth Advisor Leslie McCormick of the Farwell Group. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Last week we talked with Darren about the power of family. What are we talking about today?
Well, I'm really excited that we're going to be talking about talking because, Marilyn, you're so right with the theme of this week's show. When we talk about things, we gain a broader perspective. And sharing ideas and experiences with each other, we help each other, not just with the things we've done right, but also the lessons we've learned. You know, most women talk. Put a group of women together at a table who've never met one another, and before long, in no time, the conversation is flowing and new friendships are made. You know, I host an event each year, a ladies' tea, and the first time I held this event, except for just a few of my guests, no one knew each other. Starting with that first year, diverse conversations were held, connections were made, shared interests identified, and even travel partnerships formed. And yet there seems to be one topic that never gets discussed unless I bring it up: money. Whether you have a lot of it or a little of it, money touches virtually every aspect of our lives, and yet we don't talk about it. Many families don't talk about money. It's like we're all meant to learn the hard way. Yet money is integral to our everyday life and the security of our future. It's also a topic that's exceptionally vast, like from how much to save and how to invest, finding the best credit card to understanding mortgages. It's topics like budgeting and making big purchases, tax, insurance, turning savings into retirement income, what different types of accounts are and investments are, financial planning, wills, powers of attorney. Marilyn, I could go on. I don't mean to overwhelm, but rather make the point that because the subject area is so vast, no one person can be expected to know it all. It means we have a tremendous amount that we can learn from each other. And it's why even we work with an extended team of subject matter experts to ensure that we do the best we can for our clients. When we talk about money, when we share what we know, what our experiences have been, not only might we be helping that person with a decision they may be making, we might very well be able to help them avoid making a mistake that you yourself may have made. Avoiding mistakes can be just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the positive experiences that we've had. I've had some very interesting family meetings lately, whether it is couples planning for each other or two generations coming together to discuss and plan in advance for possible needs of parents and eventual transitioning of wealth to the next generation. The results of such conversations can be incredibly powerful. And today I'd like to talk about a couple who were open to talking about planning for each other. They're both in their 70s, and throughout their lives, she is the one who has handled the family finances. They have one adult child, and unfortunately, engaging them in the conversation just wasn't an option. Not ideal, but it is certainly a common situation. Up until we started working together, this couple had been working with an advisor who just advised them on their investments. He didn't really talk much at all about anything other than what investment to buy or sell. She came to me because of an experience with friends. Their friends had shared with them this situation they found themselves in, and she was concerned that if she passed away or wasn't up to managing the finances anymore, what would happen with her husband? And while at first she wanted to make all the decisions for what to do, I convinced her that we should include her husband in the conversation as well, because if something happened to her, he needs to know what their situation is and what those plans are. Over the past 6 months, we've accomplished a lot. Paul, he's now informed about the household finances. In our conversations, he actually shared that he felt much more at peace with their situation. He said he always knew that Cheryl did a good job managing the finances, but actually seeing where things were at and now knowing for sure that they'd be okay, he said it lifted a what-if concern that had always been at the back of his mind. He also complimented his wife that she has done such a great job. They were in far better shape financially than he had expected. Second of all, they now have a tax-efficient income plan. While their investments had done well, not having advice about how they should take their income now that they're retired, it had meant they were unnecessarily paying a lot more tax than they needed to. Simply restructuring what they already had means we're now keeping more of their old age security and paying less tax during their lifetime. And finally, we now have a plan in place for how the finances will be managed should Cheryl no longer be up to managing them. Cheryl admitted that she was feeling tired and not really up to being as involved in managing the money. So we now have a planned transition for her. To take some of it off of her plate today, we're now managing her investments for her, taking care of the day-to-day investment decisions in their accounts within agreed boundaries. I'm keeping Cheryl and Paul informed along the way. In the future, if Cheryl needs help with the day-to-day bill payments and banking, she's aware of an option that we have for clients in that situation where things can be managed professionally for them. They also have appointed a corporate power of attorney for finances in the event they can no longer make financial decisions for themselves. We know that the financial decisions that power of attorney will make for them are the ones they would have made for themselves, and there's accountability to ensure things are properly managed. During their lifetime, Cheryl and Paul now have plans in place to help them should they need it. By talking about possible future issues now with each of them and with professional advice, they both have expressed that they have more peace of mind. Burdens they hadn't really realized they were carrying have been lifted, and they're comfortable with where they're at, and they're both quite happy to be paying less tax along the way, all because they talked about money.
Well, it's interesting because everybody has a base of knowledge, and some of us are more comfortable handling money than not. But I think reaching out and expanding your mind and getting ideas from other people can never be harmful. And you definitely illustrated that with your story of Paul and Cheryl. If someone wants to talk to you about money and learn what they can do and maybe save some tax dollars as well, how do we reach you, Leslie?
You can give us a call at 416-863-7501.
416-863-7501. Nothing wrong about talking money. You may save taxes, you may increase your income, and at the very least, you'll expand your mind. Thank you very much, Leslie, for that.